Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, Ethiopian coffee, made in a French press, with heavy cream. Nice. So perfect. It's rainy outside. It's cold. Perfect. Yum. When I woke up, I was actually looking forward to that. One teaches people, men, to hate women. One teaches to hate feminism. And there is a difference. You can despise feminism and still love women. That's possible. One is a true misogynist. Another is actually caring about women. Which one are you, men? You don't have to hate women. You can hate what has happened to women and what many women have subscribed to. And no, not all women are like that. Focus more on human nature, not female nature. Your life will be much better. But there is a difference. One is gathering creepy, negative, perverted, degenerate dudes and playboys who will snuff their own kind out in time. Thank God they're going to put an end to themselves eventually, because we don't want people like that reproducing. The other is gathering optimistic men and women who happily reproduce, create families, and make positive contributions to society, science, literature, history, social science, animals, communities, all positive, 100% positive. That's the side that I take very happily. Let's talk about the media for a moment. It's really mainstream media, the three networks and the cable networks, versus truth-based, or what I call liberty-based media. The other ones, the three major networks in America and the cable news networks, and in Europe, let's talk about BBC, Reuters, they're all programming. They're programming you for an agenda. It's almost as if the same sheet of talking points comes across their desk every day, and they have to pound those same points. And it's meant to have everybody on the same page. There's nothing newsworthy about it. It's meant to sway you and sway society. If you are a truth-based citizen, no matter where you are, if you are in America or Europe or Australia or Canada, South America, wherever you are, you want truth. You don't want to be programmed. I would say that my European followers have more programming going on, and some people say Europe is pretty gone by now, as far as with the advent of the EU. I remember years before the EU. I remember Europe before the EU, and it was much nicer. It's been said that within 20 years, Italy will no longer be Italian because of the social engineering going on. Do you like that? I don't. What are you going to do about it? You need a leader. Stand up for yourself. Don't go along with it. The agenda that you are given is not healthy for you. They want you to be docile and obedient. While at the gym, a woman looks at me and she says, "Look at you, mister. You wouldn't happen to like older women, would you?" I smiled and I laughed. I said, "Why? How old are you?" She says, "I'm 84. I'm going to be 85 this Friday." That was a true story. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. That's Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. I would imagine that if those plans are moral, ethical, glorify God, they will succeed. If they're evil, how can they possibly succeed? So when I see people throwing around scripture like this, trying to justify what they're doing, you're just setting people up for failure. You can say anything you like, but you can't touch the merchandise. She'll give you every penny's worth, but it will cost you $1 first. You can step outside your little world. You can talk to a pretty girl. She's everything you dream about, but don't fall in love. The Tubes, 1983. I got a text from a woman I know, and she said, I want to be a 1950s housewife. Interesting, right? She must have read some of my tweets. Baby's into running around, hanging with the crowd, putting your business in the street, talking out loud, saying you bought her this and that, and how much you done spent. I swear she must believe it's all heaven sent. Boz Scaggs, 1976. Make women 1955 again. I guess that's offensive to some people. I say it kind of tongue-in-cheek. Do I really mean it? Partially. But it's interesting looking at images from 1955 of households. It certainly was a different era. I had that kind of mother. I never had that kind of wife. I don't even know if those women exist anymore, but I think they want to. But the system and other women and evil and feminism shames them. How did you get to the place in life where you hate your job, where you live, and your relationship all at the same time? That's really got to suck, doesn't it? Learned helplessness. A condition in which a person suffers from a sense of powerlessness arising from a traumatic event or persistent failure to succeed. This is about 1/3 of the men in the United States. This describes so many men in the men's movements, various men's movements. They're defeated before they even started. They take the last place ribbon even before the race starts. Don't do that to yourself. You're not serving yourself well. A woman, this is a true shaving story, a woman wants a head shave, but only half her head. I said, are you sure you want only half? She says, yes, you'll see why once you start. And she only wanted half of her head shaved. This is what was underneath her hair. A woman quits her stressful job to live like a 1950s housewife. I saw that article. Here's a picture of it. You can look it up on your own. And I think it's interesting. It's an extreme. It's an extreme, but there is something to be said about traditional roles in the household. I'll never forget, I dated a gal many years ago. And I was talking to her dad, who visibly had a nice relationship with his wife. I said, how do you guys get along so well? I was chatting with him somewhere, maybe out in the garage or something. This has to be maybe 35 years ago. And I said, you guys really seem to have a nice relationship. And this is what he said to me. He says, a long time ago, we came to the agreement that she changes the diapers and I'll change the tires. And it's been good ever since. And I'll never forget those words. But it was an agreement. It wasn't like, you're going to do this and then I'm going to do this. It was an agreement. They agreed to do it. Maybe that was her sweet spot. That's what she did the best. And I believe the ideal wife, because I'm mainly speaking to men, the ideal wife is one who agrees with you how things should be done, and you agree with her. It's mutual. It's not a dictatorship, obviously. And the division of labor in the household is really the division of stress. Now, think about it. The division of labor is the division of stress. And it does have to be equal. Somehow, some way. For instance, some men think if I work outside the home, she needs to do all the work in the home. Cooking, cleaning. For instance, I really enjoy cooking. Really love being in the kitchen. People like my father don't. People like my father sat down at the dinner table and waited for the plate to come in front of him to be served. That's the 1950s housewife. I wouldn't want that. Honestly, I would not want that. I like cooking. So, if I marry again, I really want to do some cooking. I really don't like being served. I've been single so long now that I don't need a maid. I don't need a mommy. I don't need a cook. And if you're single, you know what I'm talking about. Is it nice to be cooked for? Sure, of course. Is it nice to come home to a clean home or have that done? Of course. But I'm not opposed to doing it, and I do it all the time. So when you do finally hook up with somebody, or if you're already married, your division of labor, you kind of settle into things that you're good at, and out of necessity. I don't like cleaning. I really don't like cleaning. But I hope my wife-to-be enjoys cleaning. I'll do it, grudgingly, because I have to, like I do now. But let's look at things like laundry. I don't like doing laundry, but guess what? I enjoy ironing. Go figure. I listen to podcasts and I can iron shirts for hours. It's weird. Some people hate ironing. There was a day when a woman would iron everything, including a man's t-shirts and handkerchiefs and all that stuff. I don't care about that. I just like a nice crisp shirt. I enjoy the challenge of taking a shirt that comes out of the dryer and spraying it with spray starch and then ironing it, making it look like it just came back from the cleaners. That's like just a little challenge, but I enjoy doing that. And I enjoy the rewards of that, of looking good that day with a shirt and tie on. And I'll do that today before I go to work. The division of labor is nothing but the division of stress. Whenever you see issues in the house where there's resentment, it's because the stress has not been shared. Yeah. And roles have not been agreed to. We agreed a long time ago that she changes diapers, I change the tires. There's a lot of wisdom in that. A college promotes a men's cuddling group to redefine masculinity. There's actually a men's cuddling group. What do you think of that? Put your answer down below. I think it's kind of, how can I put it? It's not very logos. It's out of the divine order. Men comfort one another by a little punch in the arm, have a talking to, an arm around the shoulder, share a workout together, have a cigar and a whiskey, not cuddling. I do believe that is kind of GAY. Anyone who promotes that is weak, demented, and shall I say, perverted and degenerate. And you're just not in your right mind if you think that's right. A men's cuddling group, and they actually have them. Google that. Google men's cuddling group near me. Tell me that's not GAY. I don't care what anyone says. Just say it. Just say what it is. Nothing but a bunch of curious men and a bunch of confirmed men meeting. Let's get real. Let's talk about hair cutting. Are you thinking about a career in cutting hair, being a barber or a stylist? I don't talk about this much. It's a tough way to make a living if you are the only one. In other words, if you are not charging, well, first of all, the biggest problem with being in the hair industry is it's this linear method of making money. You're trading a service for money. When you stop providing the service, the money stops coming in. I give you haircut, you give me money. I give you haircut, you give me money. Okay, that's cool. What about when you're sick? You're not giving anyone a haircut. What about when there's road construction for a block in each direction and your walk-in traffic dries up? You're not getting any money. What about if there's 2 feet of snow and the roads are closed? You're not getting any money. It can be a shitty way of making a living. Take my word for it. So how do you make a living? How do you stop trading time for money? Well, you sell product as well, but that's still trading. You have other people work for you and you replicate your efforts. That would be the only way, to have people working for you and you get a cut of what they get. That would be the only way. Or you become a teacher and sell products online or do courses. But just cutting hair and accepting money is a hard way to make a living. It's very difficult. And I'll be honest about that. It's a great part-time job. It's not a great full-time job. Because if you're sick, there's construction, there's snow, you're not making any money. You forfeited your income for the day because there were things out of your control. So you need to snowstorm-proof your income, flu-proof your income, road construction-proof your income. Think about the things that can stand in between you and earning. How can you eliminate them and remove them? Make a list. There's a whole bunch of things that can keep you from earning money and making a living. Finish your coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak Show, the home of sanity, clarity, and reason.